One thing I definitely want to have a decent amount of discussion on is silent majority. We are 11, silent majority. Literally the largest amount of danger that the tests that Kurapika is currently having in regards to bestowing people with Nen abilities, teaching people Nen, spreading the knowledge of Nen, and trying to prolong the succession war for as long as possible are all potentially being thwarted by silent majority. At this point, we know for a fact that it's definitely not someone that's working on Queen Oito or Prince Woblei's behalf. Because why would they be trying to interrupt Kurapika's plan that is literally doing its damnness to keep Prince Woblei safe? Silent majority at this point is definitely a hostile threat. But the issue is who are they a hostile threat from? Who are they working for? And what is the overall goal that we're doing here? Because there's only so many people here that could potentially be the user. And we're running out of options here because a big yes for a lot of people were Long He. I mean, even Furikov thinks that Long He was the silent majority user. And that's what was happening behind the closed doors, is that Kurapika and Long He are going to get into a Nen battle, which obviously did not happen. We have our suspects. Everyone in this room is a potential suspect. However, we have also at the same time eliminated a lot of people from this list. So Babinya's a really big suspect as well. However, I believe we have actually, while we haven't confirmed what Babinya's ability is yet, there was a scene. I don't know if I'll be able to find it. But there was a specific scene earlier in the Succession War where Balsamico and Prince Benjamin are discussing Babinya, and they actually, while not completely referring to Babinya's ability, they do say that it's a reactive counter type ability, I believe is what they specifically said, which does not fit the bill for a silent majority whatsoever. Silent majority is a proactive Nen Hatsu. Not only do we know it's active because the silent majority is able to pick its own target, it doesn't require the target to do anything or to activate a set of conditions to die. Silent majority is not only able to pick its own target, it's able to transmute with its original Hatsu user. We know that that the thoughts that silent majority is having are the actual user of silent majority. That gets Furikov out because the silent majority specifically talks about Furikov not being able to figure out who silent majority's actual user is. So that'd be really weird if Furikov was laughing at himself not being able to figure out who silent majority is. If we were to believe that they are fully aware of Babinya's Nen ability, and they should be, they're the ones that employ him, they're all Prince Benjamin's guards, then it's safe to assume that he is also not silent majority's user either. We also know that silent majority stakes their life on every single kill. It's that strong of a Nen ability that they are literally putting their life into the attack. That's not a very counter Hatsu, which makes me think it's not Babinya. We can definitely eliminate Furikov, not him. He's not thinking about himself not being able to figure out. Obviously, Kurapika is not silent majority's user. We can cross them out. Long He, definitely not silent majority's user. They have completely revealed themselves to 110% be not it. Now, I believe as far as it's concerned, there's a lot of people that we can also cross out here. There's a couple people here that are the ones that actually die. I know this guy, this guy was one of Sali Saleh's guards. I'm like 99% sure he's one of Sali Saleh's guards from the 7th Prince. And Sali Saleh is dead now. And I don't think he attends the Nen place at any point in time after this. So he is definitely not still it because Sali Saleh is dead. So no reason for him to continue. We also know it's not the tall dude with the powered wig type hair because he's a hunter, right? Well, I mean, that, if anything, that makes him a prime suspect, no? Especially now, more than anything. He claims to just be a hunter, but we already know that Beyond Netero has already snuck in a bunch of hunters. Didn't he reveal his ability to Kurapika? We talking about this guy? I don't believe he's revealed his ability. He doesn't reveal his Nen ability at all. And the fact that he wants to talk to Bill for 10 minutes specifically is also potentially hinting at the fact that he's one of Beyond's people. And if he's one of Beyond's people, that's also an interesting tidbit as well, because if you think about it, Beyond now knows that the Succession War is going on. We know that Beyond has essentially 10 unknown time bombs that no one even knows exist, and when these people die, that's going to set these time bombs off, right? Who's to say that Silent Majority, while Silent Majority may not be working on behalf of any of the princes, which is really hard to pin down, because if he's one of Prince Miriam's bodyguards, and he's working, and he has under direct orders from Queen Savanti, only gave birth to one son, Miriam. Sure, this could potentially be Miriam is beyond Netero's child. I mean, that actually does lead to a lot of different situations, and that does add potential to Miriam being Netero's child. If again Belerainte is working for Beyond Netero and Belerainte is using silent majority to potentially fucking just delete and set off whatever bombs he can, that would work in Prince Miriam's favor. But again, it also works if he is just a rogue agent trying to set off certain pieces for Beyond, just to set off the curses, or he's just a rogue player. We know he's a hunter, he passed the hunter exam, but at the same time, he's a hunter that was essentially picked through, I think, the hunter website. It's interesting how Silent Majority does mention that, oh, it's funny that Furikov hasn't been able to figure out that I am using my Hatsu. Now that could be interpreted because Furikov, I believe, mentions that there's multiple people in the room that are secret Nen users that are, one, he can tell that they're hiding their Nen, and then there's also people in the room that are secret Nen users that are hiding their Nen that he can't tell who they are. So Silent Majority could either be one of the people that is not showing their Nen, and Furikov can't figure out if they're Nen users or not. We know there's multiple people there that he can't figure out are hidden Nen users. But it's also interesting because now it could potentially be that Silent Majority's humor in that is that Belerainte reveals that he's a Nen user, but Furikov takes that as, oh, well, he can use Nen, and then doesn't think twice about his Nen, whether it fluctuates or not. So Belerainte is definitely on my hit list as a potential, he's suspect. Oh, Berrigan. Yeah, this guy, dead. So it's not this guy. This guy is a bodyguard for the third prince. This guy right here, so it definitely can't be for him. This guy, his name is Satobi. So he is the captain of Queen Dwazul's royal guard and has been assigned to Prince Luzurus for protection. Regardless of all the different things that we've been talking to about Prince Luzurus, especially that we're going to get into later, not only is this guy working for Prince Luzurus, but his true allegiance lies to Queen Dwazul. And oh, we will be getting into Queen Dwazul in a little bit. She has had multiple children in the Kaken Empire, without a doubt. I think she has about 4 or 5. Now, what makes it interesting is due to his position, he has authority over the rest of Second Queen's Royal Guard. Satobi has fully opened his aura nodes by Kurapika's Stealth Dolphin and is currently in the process of learning 10 to contain the leaking aura. So it's possible that, you know what, maybe he isn't. Because if he just had his Nen awakened, then it's possible that's not him. But I'm thinking, like, it's interesting how the leader of the Royal Guard didn't have Nen. That immediately eliminates him. So yeah, literally the only remaining options are Slako and Belerainte. Belerainte is the most likely rogue. He is a hunter that was employed directly to the same way Kurapika and his friends were employed, through the dark web hunter version. So if that's the case, then he is completely rogue. He could be either a part of Beyond's team or one of the people employed by Beyond even further so. He admits to being a Nen user at the very beginning, so Furikov doesn't really suspect him, even though it could be him completely. But also at the same time, you have Slako. However, Slako is a lot less likely, or Slaka, simply because he's working for Zhang Lei at first and is now working for Woble. However, he himself admits that he's not a fan of Zhang Lei and is realistically just a spy for Dwazul. And I think because we're spending so much time talking about Dwazul, we have to realize that Dwazul could really be a big player in the Succession War that we're not even aware of. So Unma is not only calling shots and sending people and changing guards and everything. So it comes to question, realistically at this point, is what queen is interfering with the Succession War? Because it's pretty clear to me that if the only options out of everyone here are Slaka and Belerainte, it's either Unma, who's calling the shots with Slaka, or it's Dwazul, who's calling the shots with Belerainte. You also have Queen Savanti, who is sending Belerainte to make sure he teaches Nen correctly, which is pretty crazy. Now, again, Slaka is realistically a spy for Queen Dwazul, but again, at the same time, we don't know where any of these guards allegiances lie. And again, even if they all are coming from Dwazul, Unma is a big player as well. So it stems to me that whether Unma is the reason why Slaka is here and Unma told Slaka to come here to interfere with things, or again, Dwazul is pulling the strings in regards to this, or for Belerainte, you've got potentially Beyond Netero. I may have said that wrong earlier, but Beyond Netero could be pulling the shots with Queen Savanti, who is, again, Prince Miriam, which could potentially be the reason why Prince Miriam is Beyond Netero's child. Either way, I think Silent Majority is one of the most interesting fucking discussions of all time. A lot of people remember it was said Beyond awakened all his kids to Nen at birth, meaning his kids gotta be one who knew Nen before the arc, like Benjamin and Camillo. But the thing is it's not completely confirmed that Beyond awakened the prince's Nen. Right? You also have to remember, and part of the reason why main Beyond children, who I'm convinced is Saradnik, White Drake. Saradnik not only has multiple traits of the Netero family, he's an insanely powerful Nen user, but one thing that Longhee mentions that's very curious to me is that she mentions part of the reason why she believed that this whole sacrificial curse children plan was true was because she knew that she was lacking traits from her father that she should have had. So we have to think about this. If Longhee is missing traits that Beyond was looking for something out of his child, and he was basically making more and more children until he got that one correct. So that potentially goes against what I said before of, is it possible that, you know, a child is old or young? Because it's possible these sacrificial children were thrown away and discarded and were made as like backup plans. It's possible that could have been because Beyond was essentially trying to create the perfect child and he didn't get it right at first. Or vice versa, it could be how Longhee predicts. Longhee says Beyond just continued making children up until just to match the continuous growth of the Kakin Empire. And just to counter the last argument I know a lot of people are going to mention is that, oh, you know, Silent Majority is someone outside of the room. I think Togashi, other people have definitely mentioned this, but Togashi specifically naming the We Are 11 Silent Majority, the Hatsu, it's definitely based off like an Among Us trope. It's based off the story We Are 11. Where there's one sabotager hidden inside the group and they have to figure out who it is. So, yeah, it makes sense that it's someone as in this group of people in the Nen classes. And again, whether it's Belerainte or Slaka, it means that someone is interfering with the succession war, whether it be a queen or Beyond himself trying to pick off some of these, remote targets, right?